Well, hello, everybody. This is the Let Them group, and it is we're doing chapters 6 and 7 today. And I don't know who wants to start. Which one of you ladies wants to start with your story? Kind of tell us what chapter it's from, and then jump in.
Oh,
Michigan, go with frame of reference. Go for it.
mine was from chapter 6, and it was actually kind of the beginning of chapter 6.
Oh, we better start there.
And it was talking about how we can let them much easier when it is not our family, when it's not they're not living in our house and sharing our space, correct? And it was actually sharing about the fact that because these people love you more than people that are outside the family unit, uh, they feel like that gives them more empowerment to care about you and want the choices that you make to be good choices so that you're successful in life. Which I can see it on both sides, because if you've been a parent of adult children, you watch that process happening where you have to bite your tongue, you know, and let them figure out for themselves. And the same way with growing up and having your parents do the same thing to you, and wanting the best for you and judging you more harshly than somebody outside your family, because they have more skin in the game. They know you, they love you. And so I could see both parts of it. But I wanted to visit just a minute. I was just reviewing the chapter about when you are putting a step family together.
Mm.
The fact that there's a lot of emotions. And actually, when Richard and I got married, he had two daughters and I had two daughters and a son that we were combining, and the ages were 2 years of age, 4 years of age, 6 years of age, 7 and 8. So it was like kind of a Brady bunch, and it was like we had them all coming together. And the part that the book points out, which hope we did well. It helped because our kids were younger, so we assimilated better.
Mhm.
But realizing that they are doing the grieving at the same time as trying to build a relationship with the new person in the family.
Yeah.
And that's easy to forget. And especially when you've got so many players. I mean, we had a family of 7 when you have 5 kids and then the 2 adults. That's tricky territory. And there's some landmines along the way that you need to be aware of. And what I thought was good is that in let them do their grieving, let them do their processing. And my part, let me, is to reassure them that you're not trying to take the place of their mom or the other parent, and that you are wanting to be there to care about them and to have that listening of how that looks for them. What does support look like to you? We were blessed in the fact that our kids did really. I mean, they were like real brothers and sisters when we got together and spent time. They fought and loved and everything else, just like typical kids. And we tried to really spend time including everybody. And one of the things that I respected so much about my husband is that when he ended up not living in the household with his kids anymore, he still made them a priority. And we lived on the western side of Washington and they lived on the eastern side of Washington. And we made a trip to see them every 3 weeks. We would pile all our kids together. And it was a very concerted effort and an intentional thing to build relationship by being there, being present, and letting them still deal with the things that they were dealing with in their own life and reality. But they were reassured that they were not being dropped because there's a new person, a new family that is coming together. And um, I thought it was a really interesting thing because a lot of that I recognized and I remember living through that.
Oh, Sandy, how
Good
tough.
one. Mhm.
How tough.
Yeah. And so important for the actually being present,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
because kids have lots of stories if that doesn't happen about
Right.
They
Right.
don't have time for me. They don't care about me. They're,
Right.
being
And I wasn't interested in marrying somebody when I wasn't even thinking about remarrying it after what I went through. But when we did end up being together, it was one of those situations where I wasn't interested in having somebody who could just walk away from their children and not be a part
Mm.
of their life.
Oh,
I would not have respected them, and I was not wanting to have anybody that was like that in my life, because if you could not love your own children well,
yeah.
it means you can't love my children well either.
Uh-huh.
And that means that our family unit will never be cohesive.
Mhm.
No,
Good.
you,
Very wise.
bless you both you and Richard, for what you guys did with 5 beautiful human souls.
And we're our kids. I mean, they're all good community members now. Richard was medical background. 3 of our kids work in the medical field. One of our kids is a realtor. Another one is works for the city planning and doing the computer support in the city of Camas. So they all ended up being a good part to the community. They were able to learn to work together as a family and as a group,
Mm.
and then end up taking those skills and working in the same situation out in the world by learning those skills and taking that with them. So
Awesome.
we didn't do it perfectly, guys, but we certainly tried,
Mhm.
and we were intentional about it, and we wanted to be there for our kids and actually be a part of their life. And yeah.
Cool.
And your children saw you doing your best. Nothing's perfect, but they saw you
Yeah.
putting all that effort into helping all 5 of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we certainly
Beautiful.
did try.
Yeah.
And you know what? You love all of your children for the special people that they are. It's not like I had a favorite, but you love that one person because of what they bring to the family. You love this other person best for what they bring into the family. I mean, there's something that you draw out of every person that is part of the household that you can really touch base with and love about them in a special way. So everyone is very special in their own gifts that they have, which is true of all of us, right?
Mm,
Okay, that's awesome.
really, really good.
So
That's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
it is a very good one.
Thank you.
So somebody want to go next? Do you want me to go next?
I am happy to share as well.
Okay.
My story and approach is also rooted in family. I'm a single mom. I raised my son on my own, starting even before I came here to the US. The journey was really challenging. At the beginning, my son did not know what path he would like to take in terms of building a career, in terms of establishing himself. There was a time where, I pushed him to pursue a legal career. I have a legal background. But for example, the reason that pushed me to encourage him, I notice he can argue well. He pay attention to details. Yes, absolutely. I
Lawyer skills. Yeah, yeah.
was there at
Yeah,
the receiving end of that,
right,
argument.
exactly.
And then he wants to stand up for what's right. So I recommended that for him. We both did research, and he decided that he want to start as a paralegal. And he registered online. He completed a semester, and then he felt that was not for him. And I supported him. I didn't argue back, so to speak. But that was the moment for me to let him try what he wants to achieve and explore.
Right.
After exploring, and he also have an artistic side to his skill portfolio, so to speak. He ended up establishing his own YouTube channel that is very successful. And he has a specific niche, as they call it. He reviews Japanese manga, and he focuses on one in particular that is called Rent a Girlfriend. Um, yeah, absolutely. You are so right, Catherine. You know, even the idea that someone would go and rent somebody, pay a fee to rent them so as they can attend an event with them, a social
Right.
event,
Right.
to escape social pressure from family and friends.
Right.
And then he would analyze the nuances, the symbology, the culture, and compare it to what we have here in the US. His channel is extremely successful, which is something that brings me joy.
Mhm.
And slowly I start knowing more about these characters. What do they do? Why there is kind of a conflict or an issue here, and how to resolve it. So, honestly, that part of the journey is the most rewarding because I get sit to and enjoy, you know, the live stream that he has with his followers, the videos. He comes and tells me, "What do you think of this thumbnail?" You know, and there is a whole discussion in the house around Rent a Girlfriend. So honestly, to let him do what he wants,
Mhm.
trusting him in the process, providing, you know, tools and resources, be there for him.
Yeah.
Even when, for example, one of his videos don't do well, or there is a comment that is not so kind, I remember having a lot of discussion about, you know, how artists start their own careers and the struggles they go through. So that part of Let Them was really very special to me in helping me, you know, navigate the situation and, you know, support my son and get him to be where he is right now.
Awesome.
Mm,
Very
Awesome.
cool.
Well, and
nice,
it seems
nice
like
job.
it's evolved into, like, I mean, psychological stuff and, you know, decision making within that context. So
Mhm.
he's really doing a
Absolutely.
whole lot more than just art, you know, which
Yes.
is true of art. That's awesome. Well, Cynthia, I'm going to go next.
Are you in this chapter? Or are you going to the next
No,
chapter?
I'm going in the next chapter. Are you in this chapter?
Well, I want to say something in
Okay.
this chapter, and then I want to say something in the next chapter.
Okay.
And I won't take too much time. But
Oh, don't worry
No,
about it.
you're fine.
You're
You're
right on the time clock, girl.
okay, two things quick. My grandson, this is a family one, and the other one was not a family one. And I think uh, so. My family one, my grandson is doing some things that are really not, we're not proud of.
Mhm.
He's smart and he's a computer whiz, and he's being hired by companies who need his computer technical skills, and he gets bored and he walks away. And he's done it 3 or 4 times,
Wow.
and
Mhm.
it's killing his mother. You know, she won't
Right.
even talk about it. And I go, "How's Jack doing?" And she doesn't want to talk about it. And so there's a family thing that I'm watching, and I wish she knew Mishkat. And just because it's, how does a mother support her son when you didn't give 2 weeks notice? You didn't give you didn't go see your boss. I mean, we're all disappointed in him. And it's
Mhm.
just like, but in a way, he's saying this new generation, the computer people don't need to do that. I mean, we're,
So
anyway,
it's real hard to let him.
yeah, it's real hard because we love
Mhm.
him. I adore this boy. And yet he's doing things that I cannot respect, and I am ashamed. And I'm only telling you because
Mhm. I
I
Mhm.
know.
promise this is going to stay here. Okay, the other one that I used from this chapter is this what she called the mindset um, frame of reference. I have a neighbor who is really important to my husband and me. He's kind, he's good, he can do handyman things, and my husband can't do anything handyman.
Right.
So my husband really values him, but he's a real wacko political nut.
Mm.
And so I don't really want him in my house.
Mhm.
And yet my husband says, "Well, don't alienate him. Please wave to him in the street." And things that I was not wanting to do because
He's a difficult person for you.
he's a difficult person for me. And my husband says, I value him. I need him. And when we go and they go and have coffee and I go, are you kidding me? So when they have coffee, I say, what did you talk about? Well, their camping trips and their children. And so my husband is keeping it just all surfacey, but he needs to be able to say, hey, I've got a household thing that needs to be fixed. Anyway, I decided to let him not bother me. And I wrote him a text saying how much his Facebook post hurt me. He had been very mean. And this is a kind man. And he'd been very mean on a Facebook post, belittling Kamala. And it hurt me. And I wrote and I said, you are one of the nicest men my husband and I know. We value as neighbors. But I just want you to know your last post hurt me a lot. And I'm going to block you. Or either you let me know if you're not going to post angry, mean things. That's a lie that you posted. And anyway, I stood up to him. And I've never allowed, I thought, well, he would drop my husband who needed him for, anyway, there's 2 examples. And I didn't think I had anything in chapter 1, but I do. So
has that played out for you then, Cynthia, since you sent him that text? Did you get any kind of...
Yeah, he was so grateful, you guys. It was unbelievable. He wrote me and I'm going to cry. He wrote me and said, thank you. I didn't know that I was saying anything that controversial. He believed what he said. And I said, I don't care whether you believe it. You're hurting people.
Yeah, you don't have to be mean about it.
You don't have to be mean. And I said that, Sandy. So anyway, we used to entertain each other for dinner, surfacey conversations. And we had them over for a weenie roast on our back porch in our big fire pit. And we had a wonderful time. And we talked surfacey. We just talked again about camping trips and their family. We kept it all surfacey. And we laughed. And his wife felt, she was grateful because she'd been left out of
events and
that's very
gatherings.
powerful. And that goes for family too.
See, that's why this is not family.
No, but I mean,
like family in that it's your neighborhood.
Right. And you need to decide what you want the relationship to be like.
Yeah.
And then go from there.
That's what Mel said.
With family, we don't discuss things because we don't want to have arguments. So,
and you can imagine with 5 kids who have been brought up to be have their own mind. Every one of those kids are strong thought processors, and we don't go to the political arena because we've got a vast difference of thought processes. And you would like to be able just to lay it out there and not have people get frustrated, but emotions run high when it comes to politics.
Politics and religion need to, stay out of it because
we choose not to get into that.
And Sandy, you asked me, did it play? I feel better now because I can wave to him when I'm in my car driving by and he's out in his yard.
Yeah.
And
it feels sincere to you because you
feel sincere. And he is kind. He's good. I don't understand. He's almost a Jekyll and Hyde. I don't get it,
but you told your truth.
Yes, and I was proud of myself.
And you didn't know how it would land on him.
No, I thought maybe he would. And my husband said, please don't be controversial. And I said, I wasn't. I just
laid out your truth. I love it.
But Mel talks about that each situation is going to be different and that you're going to have to make your own choice. Yes. In any situation. It's not like a one fits all.
No.
You have to look at it and ask for wisdom and think about it and you do it.
And truth has a different energy than holding your breath and holding back. It really does. So that's good. Awesome. Okay, well, I'm going to go next and start.
Go to the next chapter, darling.
Yeah, I need some advice. It was funny. I went through the first chapter 6, and then I said, "Oh, I don't have to reread chapter 7 because I don't do tantrums."
Right.
So then I started reading it, and I went, "Oh my God!" So it isn't me that's doing the tantrums; I'm the one that swallows it. But I have two instances. One is in my professional life, how I handle it, and then one is my personal life that I don't handle it well. And so my professional life, I would have people come in my office crying, and all I would do is say, here's the box of Kleenex.
Mhm.
I wouldn't respond to it. Even kids, I don't know how to do this. So I'd say, honey, let's just try again, and I'd hand them the Kleenex. They're just real good at separation. And but I have a constant one in my house because my husband is a reactor and I am a swallower.
Mm.
And when and even when he reacts, I mean, my God, when he screams at the TV or we're in the car and he screams at the car, it just makes me do this.
Yeah.
And if I don't say anything and don't respond for even 5 minutes, and if I breathe, it gets better. But
Mhm.
sometimes it takes me 2 hours to get over it. And
Mm.
not because he was attacking me. It was just, the screaming. I don't know why. And he's just that way. I mean, when I think about it, I mean, of course, we're together a whole lot more than we were before when he was working and I was working. So, you know what I mean? I hear him more, but it's just who he is. And he even is getting to the point now where he acknowledges it. Oh, I'm just, let me vent. Let me vent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So once in a great while, and I try to let him, I don't really jump in, but I have to say, let them 150 times. And then, and sometimes I need to just go in the back room and get out of it and, breathe and say, I'm not going to let this. So, I mean, it's both of us. It's just been that way for a long time. And I'm working on it. I'm working on the let them. And I don't know. I don't have a preemptive strategy yet. I'm working on just not thinking about it. And, I could turn my hearing aids off or something.
Very good.
But anyway, that's my struggle. I laughed because, I mean, his yelling is like a tantrum.
It is.
And,
Look at it already changing. You said
yeah.
he's already, and Mel said that. Give it time, slowly. If you just pause, remember Mishkat pausing,
Right.
journal writing, we've said, walking in the other room and closing the door, Sue. He's already
Yes.
one
You're right.
little baby step of changing. He's recognizing what he's doing.
Right.
Yeah,
Wait.
he even analyzes it. You're right. And
He is changing. Give it some more time. Hold it. Don't swallow it, but walk out and
yeah, and it helps me to keep reminding myself it's not about me. It's not about me.
no, it's not.
Well, and you can't
Just
change what you're not aware of. And
Right,
like
right.
Cynthia said, he is starting to become aware of that.
Right.
And so that's where that change can happen.
Yeah, that's well. Thank you. Thank you.
Honestly, Sue, one of the tactics I used, I worked in so many different places with so many people that, I will be sharing more when my turn comes. But one approach that I use to deal with, raising a voice or having a tantrum, I would simply lower my voice
Mm.
and say, I can hear
Mm.
you. Exactly the reaction I usually get.
Yeah.
First of all, people would laugh. It will get them to loosen up a little bit. And then, I will encourage them. You see, now you are smiling. Let's sit down. Let's talk about it. As we, discussed earlier, sometimes when emotions are high, I don't know why, but people tend to speak louder.
Mhm.
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
it gives them a feeling that this is the way to convey the message. This is the way to convey the
Yeah.
truth that they are seeing. But honestly, maintaining composure and speaking slowly, regularly, however, normal tone, normal volume, so to speak, makes the message stronger.
Sure. Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that was one of the strategies I used. And when my turn comes, I can tell you more about it.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
Next book.
I'm basically done.
Yeah.
I'm working on it, and I know Mel says give it time, and I will. And most of the time it's not directed toward me. It's just
well, in talking about a louder voice, Mishkat, my husband has told me you are yelling at me, and I don't think I'm yelling at him, but I have had to take a pause
Mhm.
Mm.
and lower my tone and be more aware because in my mind, from where I'm sitting, I don't see it, but that's how it's landing on him.
Yeah.
So it's just like Sue saying, doesn't make me feel comfortable. Mike needs to listen and figure out what he can do to still say what he needs to say and do it in a way that's not going to land the same way. And I have to do the same thing in my tone of voice and my volume of voice with my husband. Because a lot of times I don't think we're aware of how we come across to other people.
Yeah. Just
Exactly.
the awareness of how it lands
True.
on someone else. Yeah.
That is so true.
Yeah.
And one of the stories that, from my professional background, I had an employee who would like always to find something to complain about. And at some point, I needed to deliver some not so good news to him.
Mhm.
And I knew that he would try to provoke me or, get me to be riled up. So I said to myself, how I'm going to, deal with this. The way I dealt with it, I came up with one line that was the bottom line he needed to do. And each time he tried to rile me up or provoke me or something, I would repeat the same line again because that what needed to be done. And I did not want the meeting to end up without any results, just back and forth, back and forth. So, in my mind, that was a successful approach because,
Mhm.
first of all, I was able to contain the situation, limit the amount of complaint that he may go and complain more about it. Also, the most important piece is to get the action that was needed
Right.
to be completed and take place.
Yeah.
I like that.
Still, it's not an easy situation. It's very difficult to deal with someone that can behave disrespectfully or engage in a tantrum, just because they feel this is the way that they can use to get what they want.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's the other piece of the equation
I
as well.
like that. And I guess if I were to label that strategy, I would call it bottom line. And,
Mm.
and, and I've told people before, have an agenda, one line is good. This is my point, and I'm going to stay focused on it. I love that. That's a great strategy.
Thank you.
So, Cynthia, you have something on chapter 7.
Well, I was just like you, Sue. I took a look at that chapter and I thought, oh, I don't want
Denial, denial, denial.
I don't want that. Surely I don't have tantrums. And the minute I got into it, because I had read it, but I went back and rehearsed it and looked for all my highlights. And I thought, holy cow. I use the freeze them out thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Silent.
don't talk until
No.
they're ready to come. I thought, oh my God, I do. And then I grapple with, how people say, if you don't like somebody, don't have them in your life. Like, you don't have to like everybody, and you
Right.
can choose your friends. And you don't. Well, there are some people that I've had in my life in the past, and they've dropped me, and I miss them. I was
Mm.
thinking about a woman today. I drove by where her house had been, and I thought, I wonder how she's doing. I know she didn't want to have me in her life anymore. I know she didn't care about me, but what if I still care about her? What if I still want to know how she's doing? And I don't know how you ladies handle allowing people to go when they need to go,
Right.
and still, how are you doing?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Mishka.
Thank you. I had that happen a lot to me, maybe because I moved a lot or, kind of rebuild myself several times, things to that effect. But the thing is, oftentimes I have a little bit of a similar scenario where people want to kind of leave. The way that make it easier for me to let them, I say to myself, I trust that they are doing well. So each time they pop up in my mind, I say, I trust that they are doing
That's
well.
good. That's good.
So that helped me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The other piece that I also worked on, oftentimes I had people who would, stay connected with me just because they wanted something from me.
Mm-hmm.
And once that transaction ends, they don't want to communicate anymore. And they would pop up every now and then each time they want something. And it depends on whatever it is that they are asking. If I can help and it's a good cause, I would help. And when this issue pops in my mind, I know that they are connected just because they want something. I say to myself, let them. I'm not serving them. I'm serving whatever good cause that they are trying
Good.
to
Good.
accomplish.
Mhm.
I had so many people also complain to me. They say, well, I helped so and so, but they were really not grateful. When I needed something, they didn't show up. Um, and according to them, what a fool I was for helping them, or things like. And I immediately would redirect the conversation. They did a good thing. Helping someone who's in need is a good thing. Nevertheless, you need to let them, you need to let go. And don't raise your expectation that when you are in need, they will come to the rescue.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Easier said than done, that is true, because you have invested time, probably some resources in terms of helping them. But that's your standard, that
Mhm.
what you chose to be as a person. I'm not saying it's great, good, bad. I'm saying that is something we as people
Mhm.
chose to have as our standard.
Right.
Mhm.
You cannot mandate it for everyone else, though.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
that's the difficult part of letting them. And also, don't let it hurt you or bug you or feel like you kind of fell into some sort of a trap by helping those who don't want to help you back.
Right.
Mm.
The act of helping by itself is noble, is
Mhm.
something needed in the community. No need to expect anything else
No.
from the other side.
And you're modeling that, as you help people, but it goes back to not having expectations.
Yes.
And that is so hard as an educator not to
Right.
have expectations.
Right.
But what I've tried, Cynthia, before is I call it dropping breadcrumbs. I knew a gal, oh gosh, 40 years ago, and she was so intimidating. I would be afraid to call her. I'd want to call her, but she didn't realize she was intimidating. She was
Mm,
intimidated by me, and I didn't know it.
Wow.
So I mean, sometimes it's a piece of awareness, and
mm,
just dropping a breadcrumb. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
mm.
you've got a story about why she doesn't want you in her life, and you might be wrong.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. She had lots of troubles, and
Mhm.
she may
Mm.
be embarrassed by them. She
Mhm.
had children troubles, and so maybe she doesn't want me to know.
Yeah. And
It's
sometimes it's time.
when
Sometimes you have a time in your life where you're so busy with stuff you don't have
right,
time for
exactly.
extra people. But if the spirit is kind of putting you on
I
putting
know you
on
hear
your
it when it
heart,
when it comes here, and
yeah, but do a little breadcrumbs.
yeah, there's
I would send her a Christmas card or something like that, and that would be my
yeah,
little breadcrumb, so to
yeah,
Mhm.
speak.
Well,
And
rejection is always tough.
Mhm.
Um,
uh-huh,
true,
and it's tough
true.
also to be in a relationship where you care about the person, you love the person, but you
Mhm.
don't like being with them. And how do you do that without hurting their feelings? So
right,
it's a
right.
tough line to draw either direction, right?
Absolutely. But our head, we have stories in our head, and
Oh,
unless
yes.
unless we have the courage to check them out, then we won't know.
Well, it's like this book club. Do I leave it
Right.
because it's not fulfilling my valuable evening time? It's not fulfilling my time anymore. And yet, I don't want to hurt their feelings. I don't want the women to say, "Why did she
Well,
leave us?"
that maybe you don't have to have a big reason. Maybe something
Mhm.
else has come up, and you
Yeah,
just at this time, I'm going to take a pause. I really appreciate you guys if you'd text me the books you're reading because you do
yeah.
such a good job. But I'm going to bow out for now.
Mhm.
It just and I can't thank you enough for this opportunity to get to know each other and share things that uh, when we reread the chapter to be ready for this group, I reread the chapter and be ready for you, and I go, "Oh my!" It's just
Yes. It's an eye opener.
uh-huh,
Oh, it
Yeah.
is. I'm so excited as we get toward the end because when I first read it, the most profound thing was when she started to talk about friendships
right,
and how friendships evolve from year spans. And that makes so much sense. I remember times when I went back to work and I had girlfriends that were still staying at home with their kids and they thought I was deserting them.
oh,
Well,
they did, oh, I
I didn't
agree,
have the time,
oh, I
you know
agree,
what I mean? And I still had soccer games to go to and this and that. And we have reunited. We've come back around and we've been friends for years. But there
mhm,
were years that my story is they were sticking their nose up at me,
right,
because
right,
my God, I went back to work. You
mhm,
know.
Well, one of the things that I've done too, Cynthia, when somebody pops into my mind is that I send up a prayer for them that wherever they are,
Mhm.
they are getting blessings and I care about them. And these are for people that I've had to forgive. Some of these people are people I've had to forgive because of some tough situations. And I'm called to love no matter what.
Mhm.
mhm,
And so when that happens, when that person pops into my mind, I send up a prayer for them that wherever they are, whatever their life looks like, that it will be better for the prayer that I send up for them.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah. You
And
yeah,
then it's
said
one of those things where I can kind of release that at that point. When I do that, when I follow my spirit and do what I feel
right,
I'm being pressed to do, that is a way for me to kind of say, okay,
yeah.
and let it go. And that works for me. It's not for everybody, but just
no,
want
it's
to share
beautiful, and Mishka called it, "I trust,"
that.
and
Right.
I left a blank there, Mishka, so that I could put their name in. I
Mhm.
trust this woman's name is Betty. I trust that Betty is doing well, and I
Mhm.
send a prayer up in love for her.
Right. Right.
And that might speak to her. You
Right.
don't that
Right.
that prayer of blessing
Maybe she'll feel
Yes.
it.
might start thinking of you, or
Right.
this. It's sort of like proactive forgiveness, I guess.
Mm.
It is. It
Mm.
is. But I think I was feeling guilty that I like, aren't you supposed to just let them go? Well, not really. Not really if they're coming to your mind and you think of them a lot.
Yes.
Mhm. That's right.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There is a reason for
Press, and
that.
I think you need to listen to that.
Mhm.
Well, ladies, it's getting towards our time. We have to get Cynthia out on her walk. Let's go around and just do what's one takeaway from our conversation today.
So my takeaway is to continue to let them, forge their own path, whether they are our children, our friends, our colleagues. Let them follow their own calling.
Yes,
Beautiful.
I love that. Someone else?
I am calling the church secretary and asking to lead a group. I want a small group like this. We take a full hour and we go deep and we
Yeah.
cover 2 chapters. So I would like to do this for other adults.
I
I
think
think
that's great.
maybe use it for youth in high school. I mean,
Mhm.
Yeah,
we could
she's
practice
young.
this on our adult friends, and then I
Yeah.
might take it to teenagers. I don't. We'll see.
Well, and apparently she's got a book for kids.
Teenagers.
I think so. I don't know. I remember her talking about don't use this on kids.
Oh,
You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But I think depending on the age of the teenagers,
right,
probably
right.
high school might be all right. But you got to have a safe group to talk.
Anyway, this is so
But-
meaningful to me that I
Awesome.
know it will help others.
I think that's great.
Mhm.
Sandy, how about you?
Well, I'm going away as I usually do, just feeling filled with the love of this group, the people. I feel like all of your hearts are in the same spot in the fact that you want to learn and grow together.
Mhm.
And I think community, it reminds me that being isolated is there's times when you need to have your own space, but being isolated doesn't help you grow like it does when you are in community and when you're with people that care.
Right.
So
Right.
thank you, ladies. I really appreciate every one of you.
Yeah, I
Thank you.
appreciate you too. And I'm going to piggyback on what you said, Sandy. Isolation is not good for our mental or for our spiritual or for our physical being.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't have to be with people all the time, but connection is the piece.
Connection, yeah.
Being present, really being heard, and listening. So that's really what it's about. Somewhere I wrote down. Well, okay, the next 2 chapters.
What did you take away, Sue? Was
Oh,
that
that's what I took
you're gonna
away.
put that? Okay, good.
That
I
she.
don't want you to get away.
Oh, you don't want me to. You know, when you close the book when I read Tantrums. Huh? You know when it applies to you if you.
Okay, good girl.
Write it
Okay,
down, yeah.
okay.
But okay, so the next 2 chapters are 8 and 9, and Sandy's going to be gone for a couple weeks, so I'm looking at possibly like Mondays, and so either the 6th or the 13th of October for our next one. Can we do the 6th,
I can do the 6th.
Cynthia?
I'm just looking. I've got an awful lot on that day, so just let me
Okay.
open up my calendar to a week.
Sure.
No, it looks like I'm going over for an exam that day.
Are we
Okay.
doing the podcast on the 7th, Sue?
We are. Do you want to piggyback on that? If they can
Yeah,
do
that
it?
would be great if it works for everybody else.
Can you do the 7th, Mishka? At 1:30 again, if that's okay.
Yes, I can do.
I can't do 1:30. I
Okay.
could
What can
do.
you do?
I think I have a networking group that goes from 1. I think it's 2:30. I hope it's just 2.
So can you do it earlier?
I have a 12 o'clock, so I could do 11.
Okay,
Can
let's
you
do
do 11, Mishka?
11 works better for me.
Okay, good.
Okay.
11 o'clock on the 7th, and Sandy, I'll do our podcast that day around that.
We'll do it later. Yeah, we can do it afterwards.
Okay, good.
I
And
would need to leave at 10 to 12 in order to get to my
that's not a problem. We'll just
nail appointment. I'm
Okay.
nail appointment.
That's all right. You have to stay beautiful. Do you want to do 10:30?
Absolutely.
I can do 10:30 if Mishkat can.
Mishka, can you do
10:30 works
All
for
right,
me.
let's do 10:30. And then let's do the next week because then I have surgery on the 16th.
Mm,
So can we do Monday or Tuesday? Or
What about-
Wednesday?
How about Wednesday, the 15th on that day, on that week?
I have a 12 o'clock workout class. So how about again the 10:30?
10:30? How about you, Mishkat? 10:30 on the 15th.
just 1 second. Let me move something around.
So, Sue, what is the chapters you said we're going to do this time?
We're going to do 8 and
8, 9. Okay.
And then we said the 15th. The 15th is a
15th,
Wednesday.
at 10:30, did you say, Cynthia?
Yeah, I can do. I have to be to my exercise. Leave at noon to get there. So
Okay.
Is it possible to do the 14th? The 14th will be better for me.
Okay.
I can do that if I can leave at 12:45. So
12:45.
Do 11 o'clock on the 14th. How about you, Sandy?
Can we do our podcast on that day? I just try to have our stuff one day a week because I got some.
But that's just you and me.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, so.
No, the 14th will
Because
work. It works for you to do the
Okay.
podcast
And
on that
Cynthia,
day.
would you say 11? What
I
time?
have to leave the house at 12:40 in order to get to the meeting at 1.
Okay. Is 11 o'clock Mishkat okay on the 14th?
Yes.
Okay. 11 o'clock on the 14th. And then
Got it.
that's good. That we'll have that down. And then
Okay.
I'll probably the last week of October, I'll be ready to, you know.
Okay,
do
so what time did you say on the 14th then? At
14th is 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock. Okay.
And the 7th is 10:30.
The 7th
Okay.
is at
Thank
the
you
7th
so much.
The 7th is at
Well, I
10:30.
guess I'm going to stop recording. Everybody wave. Everybody knows when we're going to be on next. I forgot to turn it off. Bye-bye. Thanks for being with us.